students, welcome to our today lesson. In the previous session, we have seen about physical geography of Africa. In this session, we will learn about population, economy, and natural resources of Africa. The content include aspects of population, economy, and natural resources of Africa, concept of economic growth and development, natural resources of Africa, and its politics. Students, let us start by defining human population. As we have seen in the lower grade, human population refers to the total number of human inhabitants of a specific area, such as city, country, or continent at a given time. In short, it is the number of people live in definite area. Population distribution is the way that population is spread out over a given area. There are densely, moderately, and sparsely populated area in the world. The densely populated region include the Asiatic belt, the peninsular Europe, the northeast of North America. This known as population cluster or population nodes. So the Asiatic population belt, the peninsular Europe, the northeast of Northern America are densely populated region of Africa. Students, let us see a sparsely populated region of the world. The first one is tundra. Tundra is a sparsely populated region of the world because it has harsh climate, at least for 8 months and above. The temperature of tundra is below 0 degrees Celsius. Only for 2 or 3 months, the temperature is above 0 degrees Celsius during summer season. So this region is not suitable for settlement purpose. The second sparsely populated region of the world is the hot, dry land. It has high temperature, but the rainfall is scant. Because of this, in this area, we get very few people. The third sparsely populated region of the world is the hot, wet lands. It has high temperature throughout the year, and the rainfall also high. For example, this is common in the equatorial region of Africa. So in this area, you can get very sparse population. The fourth sparsely populated region of Africa is high relief. Because of rugged topography, in this region you get very few people. The temperature is cold because of high altitude, and the topography is not suitable for settlement purpose. The last one is area with poor soil. Let us see what seems like the world population distribution after 15th century. The world population has been experiencing continuous growth, that means rapid population after 15th century. This is the result of advancement in scientific knowledge, agriculture, industry, medicine, social organization, and also human ability to control famine disease. The other reason is relatively lower cost of importing vaccine, antibiotics, insecticide, and high yielding, improvement in people's living condition, increasing in life expectancy in most developing countries. Since 20th century, the rapid increasing in human population has rising concern because of the earth is experiencing overpopulation, the overutilization of resource resulting to threat to the ecosystem, and also the rising the level of atmospheric carbon dioxide, global warming, and pollution. Generally, the population growth has a direct effect on socio-economic and the quality of the environment. Students, let us see the size and percentage of the world population. The distribution of the world population is uneven, as we have seen in the above explanation. In some area we get densely population, in some area we get sparsely populated area. The distribution of human population shows great variation For example, the proportion of people in Africa, Asia, and Latin America has experienced from 68% in 1950 to more than 80% in 2008. When you see China and India alone account 37% of the world population. In terms of size, Africa is the world's second most populous continent. So African population is nearly 1/4 of the Asian population, and it is greater than 28 times that of the Oceania. Oceania is the least populous continent of the world. Students, let us see this table. These are the continents of the world. When you see region of Asia, Asia has more population and densely populated region from all continents of the world. The second one is Africa. 14.7% of the world population is found in Africa. Africa is the second most populous region, but it is not densely populated region because it has large size. The second densely populated region of the world is Europe. So in terms of size, the second one is Africa, but densely populated region in the world, the second one is Europe. Africa has a large size, so in terms of density, the second one is Europe. 5.0 or 5 points of the world population is found in Northern America. The least population is found in Oceania. It accounts only 0.5%. So this table shows the distribution of population in the world. The first in terms of size is Asia. The second one is Africa, accounts 14.7% of the total population of the world. This table shows the world's 10 largest continent term of population size. High population is found in China. Next to China, India, USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Russia, and Japan are countries that has high population in the world. These 10 countries of the world have high population. Students, please think about this activity depend on your grade 10 lesson. What is population growth? What are the components of population change? How fast in Africa population grows? Please think for 3 minutes. Africa has one of the world's fastest growth in terms of population because fertility rate is high in Africa. The growth rate, it is very high. A change in our size of population is the result of the collective effect of changing in fertility, mortality, and migration. So population change is the result of these three components. So this fertility, mortality, and migration are collectively known as population change dynamics or determinants or components of population. So population change is the result of these dynamics. Fertility and mortality are a biological factor. Fertility increases the population of a given country, but mortality declines the population of a given country. Migration is purely non-biological factor. It gain or lose the given population. Let us see this chart. Natural change is the result of birth and deaths. Natural change, it is the difference between birth rate and death rate. So birth results in population gain. Death results on population loss. The difference between these give us natural change. In developing country, fertility rate is greater than mortality rate. If the difference between these give us negative, it shows that death rate greater than birth rate. If the difference give us positive, birth rate greater than death rate. If birth rate is equal to death rate, or the difference between birth rate and death rate is equal to 0, birth rate and death rate is equal. For example, in Europe, birth rate and death rate almost the same. Migration change is the result of immigration and immigration. So measure of migration rate are immigration and immigration. The difference between these give us net migration rate. If net migration rate is equal to 0, if net migration rate is equal to 0, immigration rate and immigration rate almost equal. Let us see what is fertility. Students, depend on your grade 10 lesson. What is fertility? Fertility is the actual occurrence of birth in a given population. In short, it refers to the actual reproductive performance of a given population. Measures of fertility are crude birth rate. To find crude birth rate is equal to total births divided by total population in a given area times 1,000. It expressed per 1,000 people. So one of measure of fertility is crude birth rate. And also general fertility rate, also the measure of fertility, total fertility rate used for measuring fertility. So crude birth rate is equal to total births divided by total population times k is constant. It expressed per 1,000 people. Students, let us see what is general fertility rate. It is the number of children born per woman. This general fertility rate, it's helpful for comparing the fertility performance of a different population or social group. To find general fertility rate, we have a formula. It is total births divided by total population times K is constant expressed per 1,000 people. So a newborn children divided by women aged between 15 up to 49, and we can multiply by 1,000. So to find general fertility rate with this formula, living births divided by women aged between 15 to 49. After that, we multiply by 1,000. Total fertility rate, it is helpful for comparing the fertility performance of different population or society group. Total fertility rate, it is helpful for comparing the fertility performance of different population or social group. Let us see measure to reduce birth rate. The first one is improved the status of women. Second, improved educational level regarding family planning. Reduction of poverty, and it's effective because of high birth rate where as a result of poverty. When you see the size of Africa, we have seen in the above table, Africa is the second most populous continent in the world next to Asia. According to the World Population Data Sheet of 2009, the continent had a total population of nearly 1 billion. So Africa make up nearly 14.7% of the total population of the world is found in Africa. When you see the growth rate of Africa, in Africa fertility is very high, so the growth rate also very high. So Africa has one of the world's fastest growth population because of high fertility. According to the 2009 data sheet, the growth rate of Africa is 2.4%. This shows fertility rate is very high in Africa. The doubling time of Africa is short, it is 29 years. It also shows the fertility of Africa is very high. If area has long doubling time, the fertility rate is very low. If the doubling time is low, the fertility is very high. So the growth of Africa is very high growth rate because of the result of high fertility rate. Although birth rate is declining in the continent, it is still high as compared to the rest of the world. Let us see what seems like the rate of natural increase. As we have seen in the above lesson, a rate of natural increase is the difference between crude birth rate and crude death rate. It gives us a rate of natural increase. So crude birth rate in Africa is very high. So the natural increase also high. Fertility rate in Africa, it is very high because of this rate of natural increase in Africa reach 2.3%. It shows high fertility rates in Africa. We have seen in the above, growth rate of Africa is 2.4% because fertility rate is very high. To find growth rate, we have a formula. Growth rate is equal to a rate of natural increase plus or minus net migration rate. As you have seen in the above, if net migration rate is equal to 0, immigration rate and immigration rate is equal. If net migration rate less than 0 or it is equal to negative, it shows immigration rate greater than immigration rate. If immigration rate is equal to positive, it shows that immigration rate greater than immigration rate. So The growth rate of Africa is very high because of high fertility rate. Let us see these continents of the world. When you see the doubling time of Asia, Asia to double itself, it needs 58 years. So it has long doubling time. But Africa has short doubling time. The doubling time, as you have seen in the above, it is 29.2. It needs to double itself. This shows Africa has high fertility rate. North America, to double itself, it needs 116.7 years. It has very long time to double itself. Oceania, to double itself, it needs 63.6 years. When we see the birth rate of Asia, the birth rate of Asia is 19 per 1,000. The birth rate of Africa is very high from the other rest of the world continent. The birth rate is 36 people born per 1,000 people. So in Africa, fertility rate is very high. In Latin America and Caribbean, fertility rate is 20 per 1,000. Europe, the fertility rate is 11 per 1,000. Oceania, 18 per 1,000. Death rate also high in Africa. For example, the Asian death rate is 7 per 1,000. The African death rate is 12 per 1,000. When we see the death rates and birth rate of Africa has high birth rate and high death rate, but birth rate greater than death rate. North America, the birth rate is 14 per 1,000, but it has 8 per 1,000 death rate. Europe, the birth rate is 11 per 1,000. The death rate also 11 per 1,000. As we have seen in the previous, in Europe, birth rate and death rate is equal. It is rate of natural increase is 0. This shows birth and death is equal. So doubling time of Europe is 0 because the birth rate and death rate in Europe, it is the same. So from this table, we conclude that Africa has high birth rate and high death rate. If the birth rate is very high, rate of natural increase also very high. It is 2.4. Let us see the region of Africa. What seems like each region of crude birth rate, crude death rate, rate of natural increase, total fertility rate, infant mortality rate, net migration rate. When you see sub-Saharan Africa, the birth rate is very high. It is 39 per 1,000. And also the death rate 13 per 1,000. The rate of natural increase in sub-Sahara region is high. It is 2.6. So when you see the North Africa crude birth is 25 per 1,000, but the death rate is 7. North Africa has less death rate because from the other region of Africa, North Africa better developed economically. So if area has high fertility, the economic development is low. If area has well-developed economy, the fertility rate is very low. So North Africa has low crude death rate because it is well-developed economically. In Western Africa, Eastern Africa, Central Africa, birth rate is very high. In terms of population, the most populous region is East Africa. Next to East Africa, Western Africa is the second most populous region. The third one is Central Africa. So in Western, Eastern, and Central Africa, crude birth rate is very high. Southern Africa, the birth rate is 24 per thousand, but it has high death rate, it is 15 per thousand. In the previous lesson, the world population distribution, African population distribution is uneven. There are areas of high and low population density is found in Africa. For example, densely populated region of Africa are the Nile Valley of Egypt, the Atlantic of coastal area that stretch from Cote d'Ivoire to Cameroon, Rwanda, Burundi, and also some African province of KwaZulu and Natal are densely populated areas of Africa. Areas of desert and semi-desert area of Africa has low population. When we see the continent average crude population density during the mid-2009, 33 people live per kilometer square. Let us see each region of Africa, what seems like crude population density. So, sub-Saharan African, 34 people live per 1 kilometer square. Northern Africa, 24 people live per 1 kilometer square. Eastern Africa, 49. Central Africa, 90. South Africa, 22 per 1 kilometer square. From this table, we conclude that Western Africa, Eastern Africa are densely populated region of Africa, but Southern Africa is only 22 people live per 1 square kilometer. And also Northern Africa, 24 people live per 1 square kilometer. So Sub-Saharan Africa, Western Africa, Eastern Africa are densely populated region of Africa. Because as we have seen in the above lesson, Western Africa, Eastern Africa, Central Africa has high population, and in Western Africa and Eastern Africa we get densely population, and also in Sub-Saharan Africa. In Northern Africa, 24 people live per 1 kilometer square. From the other region of Africa, Northern Africa is well developed economically. Let us see the 10 top densely and sparsely populated countries of Africa. The densely populated countries of Africa are Mauritius, Mayotte, Seychelles, Reunion, Cameroon, Burundi, Rwanda, Sao Tome and Principe, Gambia, and Nigeria are densely populated countries of Africa. Sparsely populated countries of Africa are Western Sahara, Mauritania, Botswana, Namibia, Libya, Gabon, Central Africa, Chad, Mali, Congo. These countries are sparsely populated in Africa. Please, students, think about these two questions and give the answer. Students, this is our today lesson. Thank you.